जाते ऐसे उत्तम गति ये प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा ये प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा सर्व आशा Akudana Diloji, Jami Jami Prabhuti, Akudana Diloji, Jami Jami Prabhuti, Akudana Diloji, Jami Jami Prabhuti, Dana Diloji, Jami Jami Prabhuti, Divyan Nirito Pasito, Divyan Nirito Pasito, Ema bhakti jahan hote abhina abhina sajate jahan hote abhina abhina sajate jirga jara tarito jirga jara tarito jirga jara tarito jara tarito Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamana Jara Bandhu Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamana Jara Bandhu Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamana Jara Bandhu Sindhu Adamana Jara Bandhu Tukina Tukira Jivana Tukira Jivana Lokanath, Lokira Jivana, Lokira Jivana, Prabhu Kurudoya, Dio More Parachaya, Prabhu Kurudoya, Dio More Parachaya, Prabhu Kurudoya, Dio More Parachaya, Dio More Parachaya. Devi Jasa Gusute Bhuvana Gusute Bhuvana Devi Jasa Gusute Bhuvana Sri Guru Karuna Sindhu Aramana Jara Bandhu Karuna Sindhu Aramana Jara Bandhu Sri Guru Karuna Sindhu Aramana Jara Bandhu Karuna Sindhu Aramana Jara Bandhu Tukena Tukira Jivana Tukira Jivana Prabhu Kurudoya Dio More Parachaya Kurudoya Dio More Parachaya Prabhu Kurudoya Dio More Parachaya Doya Dio More Parachaya Devi Gasha Gusute Bhuvana Gusute Bhuvana Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Gurudev Namah Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Namah Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nivesesha Sunyavadi Asachari Shatarine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nivesesha Sunyavadi Asachari Shatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shiva Beta Gadara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shiva Beta Gadara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
John Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivijayakacharya Stotar Sadashi Srimad. His Divine Grace Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Vibhuti Fongracharya His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. John Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivijayakacharya Stotar Sadashi Srimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Thakur ki jai. Anantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se ko Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kanarada Kundagiri Govardhan ki jai. Shri Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Shri Purushottam Kshetra Jagannath Puri Dham ki jai. Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham ki jai. Ganga Maya Jamuna Maya ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shrimati Tulsi Devi Maharani ki jai. Shri Yogadharma Harinama Sankirtan ki jai. Shri Prabhupada's Transcendental Books Distribution ki jai. Brihat Mridanga ki jai. Shri Paramakarnitai Gaur Chandra ki jai. Samveda Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the Assembly of devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the Assembly of devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the Assembly of devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shanyavadi Pashachade Shatarine. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only ways by which you can attain pure devotional service. I bow down to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates, by him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scripture sings of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor and Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, please be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all the 3 worlds. We take shelter at your lotus feet. You are the safe of the most fallen. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we can all please stand for Tulsi Arti. Vrindaye Tulsi Devyaye Priyay Kesavasacha Vishnu Bhakti Paradevi Sachavatai Namo Namah. Vrindaye Tulsi Devyaye Priyay Kesavasacha Vishnu Bhakti Paradevi Sachavatai Namo Namah. Vrindaye Tulsi Devyaye Priyaye Kesavasacha Vishnu Bhakti Paradevi Sachavatai Namo Namah. Srimati Vrindadevi Tulsi Dev Maharani ki. Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Preyasi. Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Preyasi. Radha Krishna Seva Pava E Abhilasi. Je Tomara Sharana Loy Tara Vancha Purna Hoy Temara Sharana Loy. Kripa Kore Kora Tare Vrindavanamasi. Kripa Kore Kora Tare Vrindavanamasi. Morae Abhilas Velas Kanjariya Morae Abhilas Velas Kanjariya Nayane Ribasara Yugala Ruparasi. Nayane Ribasara Yugala Ruparasi. Enive Danadara Sakira Nugata Koro Enive Danadara Sakira Nugata Sevare Karadiye Koro Nijarasi. Sevare Karadiye Koro Nijarasi. Namo Namo Tulasi Krishna Preyasi. Namo Namo Tulasi Krishna Preyasi. Namo Namo Krishna Rasika Jai Jai Ram Ram Shri Radha Govinda Preme Sada Jinavasi Shri Radha Govinda Sada Jinavasi Namo Nama Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Nama Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Nama Yani Kani Chapapani Brahmachari Kani Cha Tani Tani Pranashante Pradekshana Pare Pare Brahmachari Kani Cha Yani Kane Chapapani Brahmachari Kane Cha Tane Tane Pranashante Pradekshana Pare Pare Yani Kane Brahmachari Kane Cha Yani Kane Chapapani Brahmachari Kane Cha Tane Tane Pranashante Pradekshana Pare Pare Yani Kane Chapapani Brahmachari Kane Cha Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare श्रीमती बिनदेव तुलसी देव महारानी की जय। वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशव सच विष्णु भक्ति पुरदेवी सचवताय नमो नमः। वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशव सच विष्णु भक्ति पुरदेवी सचवताय नमो नमः। वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशव सच विष्णु भक्ति पुरदेवी सचवताय नमो नमः। श्रीमती तुलसी देव महारानी की जय। O Tulsi, beloved of Krishna, I warang before you again and again. My desire is to obtain the service of Shri Shri Radha and Krishna. Whoever takes shelter of you has his wishes fulfilled. Bestow your mercy upon him, you make him resident of Vrindavan. My desire is that you will also grant me residence in the pleasure groves of Shri Vrindavan Dham. Thus in my vision, I'll always behold beautiful pastimes of Shri Shri Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me a follower of the cohort damsels of Braj. Please give me the privilege of devotional service and make me a road-made servant. It is very fallen and lowly servant of Krishna praise. May always sing in love of Shri Shri Radha and Govinda. Shrimati Binadevi Tulsi Dev Maharani ki jai. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashachari Shatarine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Chaitanya Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Gaita Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, no problem. Alright. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, everyone. So this morning is very auspicious that we are here in Satsang at Hare Krishna Study Center. Today is Sunday morning love feast. So you're going to continue with one bhajan. It's called Jai Radhe, Jai Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan. We're glorifying Lord Krishna and his associates, Srimati Radharani, the gopis, and all the wonderful, beautiful pastime places of the Lord in Vrindavan, including Mother Cow. So as today is Mother's Day, hopefully later on we'll hear about the different types of mothers and also importance of honoring them, respecting them not only today but every day in our lives. So we'll read the translation to this bhajan as our kirtaners are getting ready. The translation goes as follows. All glories to Radha and Krishna and the divine forest of Vrindavan. All glories to the three presiding deities of Vrindavan, Shri Govinda,
Gopinath, and Madana Mohana. All glories to Shamakunda, Radhakunda, Govardhan Hill, and the Yamuna River, Kalindi. All glories to the great forest known as Mahavana, where Krishna and Balaram displayed all of their childhood pastimes. All glories to Keshi Ghat, where Krishna killed the Keshi demon. All glories to the Vamsi Vata tree, where Krishna attracted all the gopis to come by playing his flute. Glories to all of the 12 forests of Braj. At these places the son of Nanda, Sri Krishna, performed all of his pastimes. So, as many of us know, it is in Vrindavan that Krishna, as childhood boy, Kana, and he is known by so many other names, Yashoda Nandana, performed many wonderful childhood pastimes in the presence of his mother, such as Mother Yashoda and so forth. All glories to Krishna's divine father and mother, Nanda and Yashoda. All glories to the cohort boys headed by Sri Dam, the older brother of Srimati Radharani and Ananga Manjari. All glories to the cows and calves of Braj. All glories to Radha's divine father and mother, Vrishabhanu, and the beautiful Kirtida. All glories to Purnamasi, the mother of Sandipani Muni, grandmother of Madhumangala and Nandi Mukhi, and beloved disciple of Devarashi Narada. All glories to the young cohort maidens of Braj. All glories to Gopishwara Shiva, who resides in Vrindavan in order to protect the holy Dham. All glories to Krishna's funny Brahmana friend, Madhumangala. All glories to Ramagata, where Lord Balaram performed his rasa dance. All glories to Lord Balaram, the son of Rohini. All glories to all of the residents of Vrindavan. All glories to the wives of the proud Vedic Brahmanas. All glories to the wives of the Kalya serpent. Through pure devotion, they all obtain the lotus feet of Lord Govinda. All glories to the place where the rasa dance of Sri Krishna was performed. All glories to Radha and Sham. All glories to the divine rasa dance, which is the most beautiful of all Lord Krishna's pastimes. All glories to the mellow of conjugal love, which is the most excellent of all rasas, and is propagated in Braj by Sri Krishna in the form of the divine Parakiya Bhav, or Paramur love. Remembering the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda's consort, Sri Janava Devi, this very fallen and lowly servant of Krishna, sings the Sankirtan of the holy name. Shri Brajadam ki jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan.
Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan.
Shri Govinda Gopi Nata Madana Mohan.
Shri Govinda Gopinata Madana Mohan.
Shri Govinda Gopinata Madana Mohan.
Shri Govinda Gopinata Madana Mohan.
Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan
Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan
Oh Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madana Mohan
Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madana Mohan
Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan
Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan. So the lyrics,
Kalindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mama
so the lyrics of the bhajan is on the screen there. So you can all join us in chorusing.
So we're at verse 2, the second line. Kalindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya
Jaya Mahava
Kalindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mahavan Kishigata Vanshivata Dadasakana
Kishigata Bamshibata Dwarashakana
Jasabalila Kailo Srinandananda
Jasavalila Kailo Shri Nandananda
Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan
Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan
Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madana Mohan Shri Govinda
Gopinatha Madana Mohan
Shri Nanda Jashoda Jaya Jaya Gopaga
Shri Nanda Jashoda Jaya Jaya Gopaga
Shri Dhamadi Jaya Jaya Dinu Vatsaga
Shri Damare Jaya Jaya Denu Vatsaga
Jaya Vrisha Bhanu Jaya Kirti da Sundari
Sundari
Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Abhira Nagari
Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Abhira Nagari
Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan
Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan
Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madan Naman
Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madanamo
Jaya Jaya Gopishwara Vrindavanamaj
Jaya Jaya Gopishwara Vrindavanama
Jaya Jaya Krishna Saka Bhatu Dijarat
Jaya Jaya Krishna Saka Batu Dvijara
Jaya Rama Gata Jaya Rohini Nandan
Jaya Rama Gata Jaya Rohini Nanda
Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Bhasi Jata Jan
Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Basi Jata
Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan
Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan
Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madanamo
Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madanamo
Jaya Ram Jaya Dija Patni Jaya Naga Kanyagan
Jaya Dvija Patni Jaya Saka
Bhakti Te Jahara Pailo Govinda Chara
Bhakti Te Jahara Pailo Govinda Chara
Sri Rasamandala Jaya Jaya Radha Shyam
Rasamandala Jaya Jaya Radhashyam
Jaya Jaya Rasalila Sarva Manoram
Jaya Jaya Rasalila Sarva Manoram
Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan
Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan
Shri Govinda Gopinata Madana Mohan
Shri Govinda Gopinata Maranamo
Jaya Jaya Jala Rasa Sarva Rasa Sai
Jaya Jaya Jwala Rasa Sarva Rasa Sai
Parakiya Bhave Jaha Brajete Prachara
Parakiya Bhave Jaha Brajete Prachar
Sri Janava Pada Padma Puriya Smarana
Sri Janava Para Padma Puriya Smara
Vina Krishna Dasa Kohe Nam Sankirtan
Dina Krishna Dasa Kohe Nama Sankirtan
Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan
Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan
Shri Govinda Gopinata Madana Mohan
Shri Govinda Gopinatha Maranamo
Madana Mohan
Madanamo
Madana Mohan
Madanamo
Radhe Madana Mohan
Madanamo
Jaya Radha Madana Mohan Radha Madana Mohan Radha Madana Mohan Shri Radhe
Jai Radha Madana Mohan Radha Madana Mohan Radha Madana Mohan Shri Radhe
Jaya Radha Sham Sundar Radha Sham Sundar Radha Sham Sundar Shri Radhe.
Jaya Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar Shri Radhe.
Oh Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe.
Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe.
Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Sham Radhe.
Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe.
Shri Govinda Gopi Nata Madana Mohan.
Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madana Mohan.
Shri Radha Sham Sundar
Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you, my Purchandra Prabhu. So next we'll have a little discussion, and today we would like to invite His Grace Hari Kirtan Prabhu to lead us into today's morning discussion on this auspicious occasion of Mother's Day. First of all, we want to take this opportunity on behalf of the management here at Hare Krishna Study Center to wish all the mothers who are here and who are not here, mothers throughout the world, a happy Mother's Day. And on this day we pray for your continued blessings, that we can continue to be of service, that we can continue to remember and be grateful for what you have given to us. Because it is a fact that without our mothers, we would not have been here, we would not have taken birth into this world. So in that mood, we want to reflect and remember our mothers, our respective mothers, and the various types of mothers, and also to show our gratitude or appreciation and to seek their blessings. And it is not only today, but every day. It should be every day in our lives. We should take the opportunity to serve our mothers and to take their blessings. And in that way, we will be successful in our lives. Many people in this world, they are asking, this question is they're always trying to figure out, how to be successful in this world. Is it by getting a university degree I'll be successful? Is it by starting a business? Is it by, so many things we may try, but one of the prominent things that helps us to be, successful not only in material life but in spiritual life is proper upbringing by our mothers, and also, to have their blessings throughout our lives. So once again, let us all welcome Hari Kirtan in our traditional way. We can now loudly together. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thank you. So just one thing also I forgot to mention. Today is Mother's Day, and then within a day or two from now on the 10th, which is Tuesday, we'll be observing Sita Jayanti. So hopefully, during this morning also we hear some of the glories. So today's morning discussion is mainly based on lessons and glorifications from the pastimes, from the appearance of Sita Devi. So that will be it for this morning. So Jai Radha Madhava will do bhajan. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava जय कुंज बिहारी गोपी जाना वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदानंदना जय ब्रज जनरंजना जय यशोदा नंदना जय ब्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुना तीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव 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 जय कुंज बिहारी Shri Radha Madhav ki. So before we begin, I'd like to recite Mangalacharana. So please, everyone can join in. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhovya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve
गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे माता रामो मत्पिता रामचंद्र स्वामी रामो मत्सखा रामचंद्र सर्वस्व मे रामचंद्रो दयालु नाहं जाने नैव जाने न जाने. Hare Krishna. So before I begin, I'd like to wish all the mothers here Happy Mother's Day and seek your blessings that you may be able to glorify the Supreme Mother, Mother Sita. Since our appearance day is 2 days from now, and often we hear that glorification of Krishna means that, okay, so it's like watering the root of the tree and all the branches and leaves, they get nourished. So by glorifying Mother Sita, I'm sure that is a glorification of all mothers as well. And of course, I'm absolutely sure that everyone will be totally satisfied by hearing the glorification of Mother Sita. Am I right? Haribo. So in our Vedic culture, we know that there are seven mothers. And anyone can help me list those 7 mothers. So number 1, I'll start first. Your biological mother. That's the easiest one. Yeah, a mother cow. Third one, Mother Earth. Fourth, the nurse. The wife of the spiritual master. The wife of a Brahmana. The teacher. So the teacher is the wife of the guru. And so the wife of the king is the 7th. So there's our biological mother, Mother Cow, Mother Earth, the wife of the Brahmana, the wife of the Guru, the wife of the king, and Mother Earth. Oh no, the nurse. Sorry, yes. So those are 7 mothers. And it would do us well to pay respects to those mothers every single day. As Sachisuta Prabhu was saying, seeking the blessings of the mother is one of the most important things in the life of everyone, whether he's a son or a daughter. Seeking the blessings of a mother is what drives us forward in our lives. And I'll quote Sukdeo Prabhu here. He often tells a story when he sought the blessings of his mother and he was successful in a certain activity. I won't tell you what that activity is. If you want to know, you can probably ask him directly. He'll tell you the story. So Mother Sita is our eternal mother. She has many forms as well, we know, as Srimati Radharani, Shri Rukmini Devi, as Vishnu Priya, Lakshmi Priya. But in the form of Mother Sita, she shows us, as a mother would, very lovingly, many lessons that we can apply in our lives. And in the Ramayana, it's actually stated by several acharyas that the Ramayana should have actually been Sitayan, meaning a story of Mother Sita. Excuse me, because the entire Ramayana is actually the story of Mother Sita. In the Balakanda, it stated the story of the wedding of Lord Ramachandra and Mother Sita. In the Ayodhya Kanda, there is the story of, anyone knows? The story of how they went to exile and Mother Sita's response. In the Kishkinda Kanda, there's the story of how Mother Sita dealt with Lord Ramachandra in the forest. And then the kidnapping of Mother Sita, and all these things take place. Sundar Kanda is the search for Mother Sita, and like that. The entire Ramayana is actually a story of Mother Sita. So some acharyas went to the extent of saying that Ramayana should actually been Rama Ayan. Means Rama is another name for Mother Lakshmi, she's the goddess of fortune. That is why she's called Rama. So they're saying that the Ramayana should have actually been Rama-ayan. So like that, the entire Ramayana is actually the story of Mother Sita. Mother Sita's birth is a very uncommon one, and we may take note that she didn't take birth as regular humans do. Anyone knows how Mother Sita was born? Would like to share the story? She appeared in the earth. Right. And therefore her name is Bhumija, means one who took birth from the earth. And therefore the Mother Earth is considered her biological mother, so to speak. So it is actually stated that Maharaj Janak, he was performing a sacrifice. Part of the sacrifice was that he has this plow, and wherever this plow gets stuck, he'd give charity. So happens that at a particular point in the field, the plow became stuck and it would not move for anything. So he kept on giving charity, and he decided to dig down here to see what's here. So he dug there in the earth, and there he found a golden box. There are several versions that say that maybe he found a lotus and different things. But let's stick with the version he found a golden box. And don't get confused, by the way, that there are different versions, and also this is a made-up story. There are several different Treta Yugas, and in each Treta Yuga, the pastime is different. It isn't the same pastime over and over and over again. There are different pastimes happens in different Treta Yugas. So they are allowed to be different versions of the pastime. So in our version, in our Treta Yuga, she appeared in a golden box. Maharaj Janak, he opens this box and he sees this most beautiful baby girl in this box, and he takes her as his own daughter, grows her up very nicely. All wonderful qualities were manifest in Mother Sita, being the goddess of fortune. When she grew up and she was like a little child, one day she was playing. She was playing, and her ball she was playing with somehow or other got stuck under this bow of Lord Shiva that Maharaj Janak had on a beautiful pedestal he's worshipping. So interestingly, this bow, it takes 5,000 men to move this bow. How many men? 5,000 men. Only 5,000 men. You can imagine what 5,000 people is like, right? So imagine this bow that 5,000 men have to move. Mother Sita, to get back her ball, she just went underneath, just lifted it up with her left hand as if it was like nothing, as if, like I just lift this thing up like this here and collect something from underneath. Mother Sita just lifted it up like this, took her ball, and she went on her way. The sages that were there, they were totally flabbergasted. They went to Maharaj Janak and told him, something amazing happened. This little girl, your little girl, Sita, she just lifted this bow with her left hand, as if she was just lifting a piece of cloth. Didn't mean anything to her. So Maharaj Janak, somehow, he didn't want anyone to know of this story, because it's really scary. From that day onwards, he made a vow that anyone who has to marry Mother Sita, she has to at least lift this bow. Right? But no one knew why that condition was made. And it said that everyone in Mithila was totally confused. They were doubting their king. He's a crazy man. Why would he make they didn't know that Mother Sita lifted the bow, right? So they were wondering, why would he make such a vow? 5,000 men have to lift it. Who would come and lift this bow alone? So they thought he was a crazy guy. It's a wrong decision he made. But for Janak Maharaj, it was a really great anxiety. There's a reason why he made this vow. He was thinking, if this girl can lift this bow with her left hand, imagine if she has to embrace her husband, and that man isn't strong enough to withstand that amount of strength. What would happen to him? Right? And it would be very embarrassing for him. His daughter crushed the man to pieces. So it was a very important vow. And somehow or the other, Vishwamitra, he knew that Lord Ramachandra would be the only person fit enough to lift this bow, and a proper enough husband for Mother Sita. So he didn't want to approach Dashrath Maharaj and say that, oh, I want to take your son for a marriage ceremony. He didn't want to be the matchmaker. He wanted to do it very discreetly. So he told Dashrath Maharaj that I want your two sons, or I want at least Rama, to take him to help me out with my sacrifice. Some demons are bothering me. After the sacrifice was finished and Lord Rama killed the demons and dispersed them, then the real aim of his trip of taking Rama, then it came into effect. But he didn't want to tell Lord Rama that, we're going to the marriage of Sita. Rama doesn't have any interest. So what does he tell Lord Rama instead? Keep in mind that Lord Ramachandra is 16 years old by this time. He's a little boy, so to speak, and he's a Kshatriya boy nonetheless. If you were to take a little boy nowadays and tell him that he's really fascinated about cricket, and you tell him that, we're going to a certain event and Tendukar's bat would be there, or Chandrapal's bat, or whoever it is that is, or for Cherry you probably tell him Het Maya Derongnes, right? Or somebody's, the ball that they use in a test match is there. Everybody would be excited. I want to go see if I could get it or something like that. So Vishwamitra tells Ram that the bow of Lord Shiva is there. So Ram was like, why not? I want to go and see this bow, this fancy bow, world-renowned bow. This bow is known across the universe, so why not? I'm going to see this bow. So he goes with Vishwamitra, and they end up in Mithila. And so happens, Lord Ramachandra, he decides that he wants to test it out. He wants to see if he can lift this bow. He doesn't know anything about the condition for the marriage, nothing like that. So he asks Vishwamitra, can I lift this bow? No, he asks, can I go and see this bow? Vishwamitra says yes. He goes up, pays his respects to the bow. It pays his respect and everything. And then he looks at Vishwamitra, can I lift the bow? He said, yes, you lift the bow. So he lifts the bow, right? After he lifts the bow, he looks at Vishwamitra, can I string the bow? So he strings the bow. But while stringing the bow breaks into two. And it said that the sound made from breaking that bow, everyone in the assembly became unconscious. The sound was heard across the universe. Anyway, so after this, Janak Maharaji was totally happy. You can imagine how happy he was. He told Sita's friends, bring her immediately, let her come with her garland. This is the guy she would marry. So Sita comes up there, she comes with his garland. Lord Ramachandra was like, hold a minute, wait up. I didn't come here for any marriage ceremony. I can't marry without my father's permission. So Janak Maharaj, now he is in an even greater precarious situation. He was wondering, first I wasn't finding a person who can marry. Now I found this person, he doesn't want to marry, so he runs to Vishwamitra. He says, this guy says he doesn't want to marry. Vishwamitra says, hold on, he says he doesn't want to marry without permission of Dashrath. So all you have to do is ask Dashrath's permission. So they ask Dashrath's permission, Dashrath reaches there, and Janak Maharaj asks Dashrath if he has any conditions. Dashrath Maharaj says, no, I don't have any conditions. And eventually, Rama, and not only Rama, but Lakshman, Bharat and Shatrughna, they also get married in one big marriage ceremony. Rama gets married to Mother Sita, Lakshman to Urmila, the sister of Mother Sita. Shatrughna gets married to Shrutakirti, one of the cousins of Mother Sita, and Bharat gets married to Mandvi, one of the other cousins of Mother Sita. So like that, the marriage ceremony is going on. But there's something interesting in Lord Ram's response to Mother Sita coming with that garland. Keep in mind, this is the first time in Valmiki's Ramayana that we hear or see of Mother Sita. And she's totally bewildered because the guy who she's going to put this garland around, who she's supposed to marry, he's saying, no, I don't want to marry without the permission of my father. So you can imagine, put yourself in Mother Sita's shoe. How would she feel in this situation? How would you feel? Imagine you're this girl, beautiful young girl, and you finally met this guy who you really like, and he's the only guy who can pass the test to get married to you, and you're there in front of him and he's saying, no, I don't want to marry. You can imagine what that is like. Whatever you're imagining, that wasn't what Mother Sita was feeling. She was really happy. Why was she really happy? 3 reasons. For her to get married to a guy or a man, that man has to have 3 qualities. He has to be extremely powerful so that he can protect, right? And Lord Ram, obviously he was extremely powerful. He lifted the bow, and not only lifted the bow, he broke the bow in half, right? So his shoulders were really, really strong. You can imagine the shoulders of Lord Ramachandra. It's so beautiful. Anyway, so the second quality is that he has to have the ability to express his heart. Usually it's said that men and women have very different ways of dealing with issues. When a man is troubled by something, he starts thinking about it. And he's in a great like he's always sitting there just thinking about this issue. How am I going to solve it? And the moment a woman comes and asks him, what is it you're thinking about? Is something bothering you? He becomes even more worried. He becomes even more silent, thinking even more. How am I going to solve this problem? A woman, however, in most cases, they deal with their problems by sleeping. Sometimes, or most of the times. That is what is said. I'm not saying that is the rule always, right? So Mother Sita, she wants that this man who she has to marry has to be able to express the feelings in his heart perfectly. And just by Lord Ramachandra saying that he doesn't want to marry because he wants the permission of his father, she saw immediately the two qualities that she wanted. One is that he has the ability to express his heart, and two, the last quality, is that he is self-controlled. It is said that Mother Sita was so beautiful that everyone in Mithila used to curse the Creator, thinking, why did we have to have eyelids? Disturbs us from looking at the beauty of Mother Sita. And the denizens of heaven, who it's said that the residents of heaven, they don't blink. Right? Their eyes are constantly open. They who don't blink were thinking, why don't we have thousands of eyes so we can relish? Why do we have only 2 eyes to relish the beauty of Mother Sita? So you can imagine, wars were fought with Janak Maharaj over Mother Sita because they couldn't lift the bow. And this guy who can in fact get to marry Mother Sita, he's past the condition, he doesn't want to marry, even though she's so beautiful and she's standing there in front of him. So you imagine the self-control of Lord Ramachandra. So Lord Ramachandra passed those three tests. Anyway, so the marriage ceremony is going on. So you know, in the marriage ceremony, usually the girl's hand is placed below and the hand of the groom is placed above. We all know this in the marriage ceremony. However, in this marriage ceremony, something different happens. Janak Maharaj places the hand of Mother Sita above the hand of Lord Ramachandra. Meaning that Mother Sita, she will actually take care of Lord Ramachandra. Right? That Lord Ramachandra will be under her care. And on a spiritual perspective, Mother Sita is the energy of Lord Ramachandra and a mother to all living beings. And for a spiritual seeker, a mother, or the Divine Mother, is the most important, more important than the Father, because she is even more merciful. The Father may or may not like you, but if the Divine Mother says that, oh, I recommend this guy to, so if you approach Radha and Krishna, and you say, Krishna, please accept me, he may or may not accept you. But if you go to Srimati Radharani and you say that, Mother, please accept me, and she decides to accept you, and she tells Krishna, you have to accept this guy, he has no chance, no choice but to accept you. Same. If Mother Sita says, accept this guy, Lord Ramachandra has no choice, he has to accept you. Right? So, Mother Sita, at this point, Janak Maharaj, he tells Lord Ramachandra a few qualities of Mother Sita. Actually, this care of Mother Sita is shown throughout the entire Ramayana. Mother Sita's love is one of the most amazing things one can see across the Ramayana. After the war was fought and Hanuman came to get Mother Sita to bring her to Rama, remember she was in the Ashok Vatika guarded by 700 Rakshasis. These Rakshasis were not easy, they were torturing her every single day, every single waking minute of every single day. Hanuman asks her, what should I do with these 700 demonesses, like these demons that are here? You know what she tells Hanuman? She tells Hanuman a story. Once, there was a tiger chasing a man. The man was running and running and running and running. And he finally came to a tree, climbed up this tree, went to the top branch, and there was this huge monkey there, glaring down at him. So he was scared. He didn't know what to expect. Down there's a lion waiting. Up here, there's a huge monkey. I don't know what to expect. Right? So he's totally confused. So the tiger tells the monkey, you know, we're animals together. Just throw this guy down. I want to eat him. So the monkey says, no. He's come to my tree, so he's my guest. I'll give him shelter. So the lion was like, this guy, who is this monkey? Who is this fool? So anyway, after some time, the human sleeps away. The monkey sleeps away. So the tiger tells the human being that, you see this monkey, he's going to do something to you. Monkeys are very fickle. So best you throw him to me and I'll go. I'll leave you alone, you can come down and you can go on your way. So that he was like, you know what, this is a really good idea. So he shoves down the monkey. The monkey, while he was pushed down, he wakes up and he hangs on a tree, climbs up back. The tiger was like, you see what I told you? It is humans, they aren't to be trusted. The monkey was like, no, I am not a human being. I am a monkey. I'll keep doing my duty. I'll still protect him. So Mother Sita tells Hanuman this story to say that you shouldn't kill all these demons. So you can imagine, these demons tormented her every single day for 10 months. Right? But yet still she forgive them. Both Mahabharata and Ramayana were fought because a woman was insulted. Right? And at the end of both stories, both the Ramayana and Mahabharata, these women were extremely forgiving, not vengeful. That is the glory of a mother. At the end of the Mahabharata, Draupadi, her 5 sons were killed brutally in their sleep by Ashwatthama. Right? Not that they were killed on the battlefield. They were murdered in their sleep. Not only were they murdered, like he just took a sword and, poked it through their belly or their heart or something and dead. He beheaded all 5 of her sons. Keep in mind, these boys were less than 16 years. Around the age of 16. He brutally murdered all 5 of them and cut off their heads. When they woke up in the morning, all Draupadi saw was the lifeless body of her sons without their heads. And finally, when Arjuna brings Ashwatthama to her, you know what she does? She says, forgive him. Why does she say forgive him? Because she doesn't want his mother, who also happens to be the wife of their guru, right? He doesn't want Ashwatthama's mother to go through the same pain that she's going through. Just see the heart of Draupadi. That level of forgiveness. And this mood of forgiveness is one of the most amazing qualities of Mother Sita. Just imagine, she had the ability to forgive all 700 of these Rakshasis. If she told Hanuman to kill all 700 of them, no one would have even doubted her. We wouldn't have even had a problem if she killed all 700. But just see her mercy. So Janak Maharaj, he continues listing the qualities of Mother Sita. He says, one of her qualities is Ayo Nija, means that she wasn't born, her birth was extraordinary. So he's telling Lord Ram this because don't think that your birth alone is extraordinary. How was Lord Ram born? He's born from sweet rice. Anyone here was born from sweet rice? Mayapur Prabhu. Are you sure? You'll have to ask Seva Mataji. I'm sure she didn't take any sweet rice. So, Janak Maharaj, he wanted to say that keep in mind that your birth alone isn't extraordinary. Her birth is also extraordinary. So don't take her lightly. She's the right match for you. Then he says that this is your Sita. Why does he say that this is your Sita? It's said that Lord Ramachandra was so mesmerized by Mother Sita and so absolutely caught up in her beauty that he saw her everywhere. So Janak Maharaj wanted to emphasize that this is the Sita. Don't put your garland anywhere else. Here's where you have to put the garland. Just remember that this is your Sita. Then he says something very wonderful. He says that Sita is Dharmacharini Tava, meaning that she will follow you when you're following Dharma, and if you are to practice adharma, she will correct you. And there are actually 2 instances where Mother Sita corrects Lord Ramachandra. The first instance was when Lord Ramachandra was being sent to exile, and he came back to Mother Sita and he was saying that, oh, you can't go with me, you should stay back and take care of father and take care of your brothers and your sisters and all of these things. Mother Sita says, is something wrong with you? The wife's duty is to follow the husband. I have to follow you. Lord Ram, he gets really angry. He was like, you don't know, like you think you're going for a picnic in the forest? There are dangerous animals there. You don't even have a proper bed to sit on. He said that Mother Sita was so delicate that if a leaf fell on her hand, it would get reddish. That was how delicate she was. She never walked on the ground. She always was walking with golden slippers. That was Mother Sita. So he was saying that the water falls so hard in the night that you can't even sleep properly. So you can't go. Mother Sita tells Lord Ramachandra. That gets her even more angry. And she tells Lord Ramachandra something that hurts him for the next 13 years. She says, if my father, Janak, was here, right, he would say that I made a mistake. I didn't marry my daughter to a man, but I married her to a woman. That is what she tells Lord Ramachandra. Lord Ramachandra, he didn't know what to say. No one ever insulted him like this ever in his life. Right? And it hurt him deeply. He didn't say anything, he just said, alright, come, let's go. So they went along. So that is the first instance. But Mother Sita, it isn't that she just hurt him mindlessly. She knew that she would have 14 years to make up for this hurt. And sometimes you have to hurt that person that you love to show them your love. Right? This is a very touchy subject. Don't go trying it saying that Harry said that, oh, and then you know, somebody come and say, oh, Harry said. No. Please read the story and be clarified before you try this at. Don't try this at home. Do not try this at home. So the second instance was when Lord Ramachandra was in the forest. He was carrying his bow. He always had his bow with him. And when he entered the Dandakaranya forest, it stated that the sages there, they were waiting for him under the instructions of Gautam Rishi. He said that Lord Ramachandra would one day come and he will help you. These sages were tormented by demons. You can't imagine how tormented they were. Some of them, they only had one ear. Some of them only had a few fingers. Some of them only had one hand. Some of them had half of a hand. Some of them didn't have a leg. Some of them didn't have legs only. Some of them, they didn't have like half of a body. Some of them, their skin were peeled off. You imagine the torture the demons put them through. When Lord Ramachandra walked into their assembly, it said that they recognized him by his glow. Everyone here knows neon lights? Everyone knows what neon lights are? Everyone has an idea? Show by raising your hands. Okay, so you know like those signboards that are there and there's like this stream of light that is there and it's like this. They write the words in a stream of light, so that's like neon lights, right? So it's described that Lord Ramachandra's complexion was emerald green with a tinge of gold. Take a minute and try to visualize. Emerald green with a tinge of gold. And his body was glowing. So these sages, they saw this neon green light coming towards them and they recognized him and they were totally flabbergasted. They welcomed Lord Ramachandra, showed him around their ashram. At a certain point in their ashram, they reached a heap of bones. It was actually a mountain of bones. Lord Ramachandra asked them, what is this mountain? They said that this mountain is the bones of all the sages that the demons killed. Please protect us from these demons. Lord Ramachandra, when he sees this, he gets so angry. He says that I'll wipe out the entire Rakshasa race from the face of this earth. Mother Sita, she's the Divine Mother, and she doesn't like all of this violence kind of thing that goes on. If you notice, throughout the entire Ramayana, Lord Ram never kills anyone in front of Mother Sita. Even Virada, who kidnapped Mother Sita, he took him far away and then killed him. He never killed anyone in front of Mother Sita. So Mother Sita scolds him and says, but she doesn't do this in front of the sages. She does this in private. So Mother Sita shows us how to give criticism. Criticism should be done in private. Appreciation should be done in public. Usually it's the other way around. We criticize in public and appreciate in private. Mother Sita, she tells Lord Ramachandra a story. Mother Sita is a very interesting character. Anytime she has to illustrate a point, she tells a story. Right? Like all mothers do. They tell stories. Right? So she tells Lord Ramachandra a story. Once, there was this sage who was doing extreme sacrifice, like meditation and all these things. So Indra, he was very threatened by this sage. So he wanted to disturb his meditation. So Indra has this beautiful sword with a wonderful gem on it. So he goes up to this sage and he says that hold this sword for me. I want to go. It's a very special sword. Don't want to rest it on the ground. So please hold it for me. I have to go answer the call of nature. So he said, okay, I'll hold it for you. But just don't be long. So he goes there and he hides behind the bushes. And the sage is waiting, he's waiting, he's waiting. He doesn't see Indra coming back. So after a while, he starts inspecting the sword. It's a really wonderful sword. So he cuts a piece of rock, that he just puts it on a rock that's there, and the rock breaks in half. So he's totally mesmerized by the power of the sword. He starts going and cutting trees, Wow, this thing can cut trees. And eventually becomes a dacoit. Tom completely loses perspective. So Mother Sita says, if you keep this bow with you all times, you'll lose your perspective. So Lord Ramachandra explains that, I've taken the dress of an ascetic. Doesn't mean that I've become an ascetic. I'm here to protect the sages. So anyways, he clarifies that. Another quality that Janak Maharaj states of Mother Sita is that she's like a shadow. She will be like your shadow. The quality of a shadow is that it's always connected to our feet. You ever noticed? Never leaves your feet. It may leave all the other parts of your body, but it's always connected to your feet. Right? When the sun is in the back of us, the shadow is in front. When the sun is in front of us, the shadow is at the back. Similarly, Mother Sita or Sita will be like your shadow. What does this mean? In good times, she will be behind you. And in bad times, she will be in front of you, leading you. And she proves this. Right? She leads the path to Ravana. Even before Lord Ramachandra reached there, she reached 10 months before, paving the way to Ravana for Lord Ramachandra. Mother Sita, throughout the entire 14 years of exile, gave Lord Ramachandra so much care and affection, he didn't even notice that 14 years went by. 13 years, because the last year he was engaged in finding Mother Sita. So he didn't even notice that 13 years went by. Her care and affection was extremely wonderful. At this moment, in the wedding ceremony, after Janak Maharaj tells all these qualities, Lord Ramachandra takes a vow that he'll only have one wife. When Lord Ramachandra takes this vow, all of the young girls of Ayodhya, they were extremely happy. Why? Because they were worried. Maharaj Dashrath had 365 wives. And they were worrying, what if our husbands take other wives as well? But if our future king has only one wife, then everyone has no other alternative but to follow that. So they were extremely happy with this. So when Mother Sita was going to garland Lord Ramachandra, he was standing there. Lord Ramachandra, he isn't accustomed to bow down to anyone. Right? And he's extremely tall. She couldn't reach him to garland him. So Lakshman, clever as he was, he went there, touched Lord Ramachandra's feet. Lord Ramachandra bent over to pick him up, and then Mother Sita garlanded him immediately. The connection or the bond between Mother Sita and Lord Ramachandra is one that is quite literally out of this world. It is said that they used to communicate with their eyes, right? And see with their hearts. They saw one another with their hearts, and they used their eyes to communicate. What does this mean? Usually we see with our eyes, we see with our eyes, and we try to communicate our hearts, but it doesn't work out. Because after a period of time, we start seeing faults. But if we see with that love within our hearts, if we see with our hearts, then there's no possibility of seeing faults. The way they would communicate is extremely wonderful. And when Lord Ramachandra was being summoned by Sumantra to go to the palace of Kaikeyi, there's an interesting exchange that happens between Mother Sita and Lord Ramachandra. When Sumantra tells Lord Ramachandra, "Come, your father is calling you," Lord Ramachandra looks at Mother Sita and he smiles. He tells her that whatever happens, our parents knows what's best for us. He gets up, he walks to the door, she follows him, he turns around, smiles at her, takes off his garland, puts it around her. They smile and he leaves. So now Sumantra is totally confused. He thought this was just like a husband and wife thing. They're just smiling with one another. There is a deeper meaning to this. By telling her that whatever our parents want is for the best of us, he's preparing her mind for what is about to happen. Right? That whatever happens, don't see that our parents are against us. It's actually for our own good. When he garlands her, he's saying that when I come back, now I can offer you everything. But when I come back, I'll be like a beggar. All I can offer is like the leaves and flowers from the forest. Will you accept this? Mother Sita smiles back at him, in her mind garlanding him with a garland of forest flowers, an invisible garland, saying, communicating in her eyes, that the most valuable thing for me is your association. And they both smile at each other and he leaves. So just see the level of their communication and their love for one another. That is something that we all should try to imbibe, not just in romantic relationships, but in all relationships. Try to communicate with our eyes. I don't mean go up to your friend and just stare him down and be like, you understand? Right? I don't mean like that. But try to see one another with our hearts and not to see any faults in one another. Because the moment we start seeing faults, that is the end of all relationships. Completely falls apart. Today, however, in contrast, there's WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, but yet still there are so many broken relationships. Right? We should all try to keep this relationship of Mother Sita and Sri Ramachandra in the center of our hearts, in the center of our homes. These days, the center of our homes is something completely different. The television is usually in the center of the home. As soon as you walk in the home, in most homes, I'm not saying everyone's home, your home may be different. In most materialist homes today, you walk in, the first thing you see is the TV. It's the main thing. All the couches are spread out around the TV. Don't think that our home is any different, but I'm just saying, it's a characteristic of all homes. We are Kali Yuga Bhaktas. Right? In front of all, like the TV is the central point of all homes. But originally, the central point of all our homes should have been whom? Lord Ramachandra. I'll prove this to you. The pastime of the deer, when the deer enters into the pastime of Ramayana, Valmiki Muni uses an interesting word to describe this deer. He describes this deer as Abhiram, means that which is not Ram. Mother Sita gets attracted to the deer. We know the story. She gets attracted to the deer. Lord Ram goes away, tries to kill the deer, and then he comes back and Mother Sita is gone. Ravana kidnaps her, and you know the entire story. What is the meaning of this story? The moment we get attracted to temptations other than Lord Ramachandra, Lord Ramachandra runs away and leaves us immediately. Right? And the moment we get attracted by temptations, we lose our power to discriminate. Mother Sita, she doubts the character of Lakshman, who is actually her well-wisher. And she believes Ravana to be a saint. Right? So the moment we get caught up with temptations, we lose our power to discriminate. We start finding faults with devotees. And we take those persons who are actually not devotees to be our real friends. Not our real well-wishers, to be our real friends. We lose our power to discriminate. And then, it's at that moment that the Ravana expands his 10 heads, takes us away, kidnaps us, and brings us to Lanka, the material world, where we are guarded by 700 Rakshasis with one eye and one ear. I don't know where Ravana got those 700 Rakshasis, if he had an audition to come and, like he chose 700 Rakshasis with one eye and one ear. What is the meaning of this story? We should try our utmost best not to give in to any temptation other than Lord Ramachandra. If we are tempted to take shelter of Lord Ramachandra, that is the best temptation. The moment we get distracted, Lord Ramachandra leaves, Ravana comes there, we think that ill-wisher is actually our well-wisher, and we give up our real well-wishers, and that ill-wisher takes us away from Krishna, takes us away from Lord Ramachandra, puts us in Lanka, and we are there suffering like anything. These 700 Rakshasis are like the pains that we go through in the material world. Totally just a miserable condition. Lord Ram has to send Hanuman to come, signifying Guru. When Guru comes, he comes and he reminds us of that relationship. Actually, when Hanuman reaches Mother Sita, he reaches at dawn time. So happens that Ravana came there at the same time. After the interaction between Mother Sita and Ravana, she insults him, he goes away. And Hanuman is there. He noticed Mother Sita going to do something. She opens her hair. She goes to tie it on the lowest branch she could find, about to hang herself, commit suicide. Because she can't take it anymore, the separation from Lord Ramachandra. What does Hanuman do? He hides behind a leaf and he starts singing Ramayana. Guru comes in our lives at a time when we're absolutely fed up and totally in misery, and reminds us of that Supreme Personality of Godhead and our relationship with Him. That can save us from the most dangerous type of fear. So Mother Sita in the Ramayana, she has three roles. One, as a compassionate mother, as a very staunch and chaste wife of Lord Ramachandra. But even more important, her role was that she depicted us as human beings, as jivas, people trying to take shelter of Lord Ramachandra. And it may seem that we're putting down the position of Mother Sita, that she wasn't attracted to Ram, and what kind of position is that? How can we describe Mother Sita like this? No. It is actually her compassion as a mother. She's coming here to show us, practically illustrating it for us, showing us by practical example how it is we can get distracted and how it is we can get attracted back to Lord Ramachandra. It is said that the reason the Lord comes to this material world is to show us darshan of the pastime that goes on in Golok Vrindavan, to remind us of that pastime. The Lord sends Guru, like He sent Hanuman, to remind us of this of His love and the beauty of His pastime, and that we should all take shelter of His lotus feet. And that Ramayan is our only saving grace. So with that, if there are any questions or comments, or any mistakes I made, please forgive me. But if there are any questions, or comments anyone would like to ask, you can do so. Anything from anyone? Okay, so we can all stand for Artik ceremony.
Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra.
Parama Karuna Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Parama Karuna Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Parama Karuna Nitai Gaura Chandra Jai Shri Parama Karuna Nitai Gaura Chandra Bhagwan Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Chandra Bhagwan Ki Jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांता स्वामिते नामिने
Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate
Bhakti Vedanta Samiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatadishatarine
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatadishatarine
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna
Chaitanya
Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Everybody, please stand. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Oh,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare
Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai
Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai
Jaya Parama Karuna Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Parama Karuna Nitai Gaura Chandra
Jaya Paramakaruna Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Paramakaruna Nitai
Jaya
Gaura
Jaya
Chandra
Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya
Bolo
Prabhupada
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol. Jam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivajagacharya Shtadhara Sadashi Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON VBT founder Acharya His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivajagacharya Shtadhara Sadashi Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Thakur Ki Jai. Ananta Kori Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namachar Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se ko Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopagopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Mathura Vrindavan Ram Ki Jai Shri Purushtam Shri Jagannath Puri Ram Ki Jai Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Gangamaya Jamunamaya Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shrimati Tulsi Dev Maharani Ki Jai Shri Yogadharma Harinama Sankirtan Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Books Distribution Ki Jai Brihat Mridanga Ki Jai Shri Shri Paramakarntai Gaur Chandra Ki Jai Samaveda Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to the assembly of devotees.
All glories to Shri
Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharya
निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात प्रदेशतानि.
Hare Krishna. So everyone can please have your seats while Nrsimha prayer will be chanted. Namaste Narasingaya.
Namaste Narasingaya.
Namaste Narasingaya.
Namaste Narasingaya.
Pralada
Pralada
Hiranyakashipurvakshaha
Hiranyakashipurvakshaha
Shilatanakalaine
Shilatankanakalaine
Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimha
Nrsimha Parato Nrsimha
Yato Yato Yamitato Nrsimha
Yato Yato Yamitato Nrsimha
Bahir Nrsimha Hriday Nrsimha
Bahir Nrsimha Hriday Nrsimha
Nrsimhamadim Sharanam Prapari
Narasingamadim Sharanam Prapade
Tavakara Kama Lavare Naka Advuta Shringa Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanavrenga Ishavarita Nararirupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare
Navakara Kamalavare Nakam Advuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Ishavadrita Naraharirupa Jagagadisha Hare Jagagadisha Hare Jagagadisha Hare
Jaya Nrsimha Hare Jaya Nrsimha Hare Jaya Nrsimha Hare Jaya Nrsimha Hare Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Shri Nrsimha Bhagwan ki jai Bhakta Shrimani Prahlad Maharaj ki jai Shish Paramakartai Gaur Chandra ki Hare Krishna. So you want to take this opportunity and thanking all the devotees, first of all, for being here this morning for today's Sunday Love Feast. As you all are aware, today is a very auspicious day. Today is throughout the world observance of Mother's Day. So we want to once again, for those of you who came in a little late, we want to take this opportunity on behalf of the temple here to wish all our dear mothers a happy Mother's Day. And we pray that more and more all the mothers can continue to be more devoted in service to their Lordship Shri Shri Paramakaranitai Gaurachandra Srila Prabhupada. Already, all of you are dedicated and wonderful devotees, but we pray that you can make more advancement in this line of Krishna consciousness and this path of Krishna consciousness, and that you can continue to be there for us. So we want to also today we want to thank all the devotees who would have come forward to assist in organizing and to coordinate the program this morning. We want to thank the cooks, pujaris, garland makers, kirtaniers, our sponsors. So let us put our hands together for all those devotees. Hari Bol! So for the past few weeks, we have had, I noticed for the Sunday feast that more and more we're getting back our usual congregation and a few new faces maybe. So that is very encouraging. And let us all encourage our friends, our families to, who haven't come in a long time because of the COVID, they can once again come back. You can spread the word around that everyone, as much as possible, you can come forward for the Sunday feast and for upcoming festival programs. So today, Sunday feast has been sponsored by our dear Mahmudas. So Mahmudas is sitting right in the third row, and he has took the opportunity to sponsor. So along with Mahmudas, we have all our Prabhupada Prabhu, all his Mami are here, his Aji's mother, and also all the sisters, the siblings. Basically, we like to say the siblings of the sons and daughters of the Basil Suklal family. When you say Basil Suklal, it's a lot of names come under that. So Mahmud has took the opportunity to sponsor the Sunday feast on behalf of his mother, his late mother. That will means maybe my great grandmother, if I am correct. Her name is Kausilya, the late Kausilya. So we pray that wherever the soul is at this time, that she can receive the full blessings of our Lordships here, Shri Shri Paramakaranitai Gaurachandra, all our acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, and all the Vaishnavis. So let us chant one Mahamantra for the late Kausilya, Srimati Kausilya, and also for all the members of the Basil Suklal family. Together we can chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, and just a few announcements before you go for prasad. So just a few announcements before we go. As we heard earlier, on Tuesday we'll be observing Sita Jayanti, and then on Thursday will be Mohini Ekadashi. So Ekadashi fasting is on Thursday, and Friday will means breaking the fast from 5:30 to 8. Note the cutoff time for breaking the fast is 8 o'clock. And then on Sunday will be very auspicious day. Next Sunday is very auspicious. Also, it's the glorious appearance of Lord Nrsingadev. It's called Nrsinga Chaturdasi. Right, so we'll be having a wonderful Shri Nrsingadev Bhagwan Ki. So we'll be having a wonderful Nrsingadev Chaturdasi program next Sunday at 10. And it's fasting, bear in mind it's whole day fasting up to evening, because that's when Lord Nrsingadev appear to save his devotee Prahalad. So Sukdev Prabhu, we have one Bhagavad Gita here. We are making this donation on behalf of our Prakashji here. For many years now, Prakashji has been part of this program of sponsoring Bhagavad Gita and giving it out to those who are in need. So is there a mother who are present with us this morning who doesn't have a copy of Bhagavad Gita and would like to have one? Please come forward, or please show by raising hands. We have this one Bhagavad Gita for you. So don't be shy. Or if you know of someone who may need a Bhagavad Gita also, you know, no problem. So if not, you can meet us during Prasadam time downstairs and we'll give it to you if you don't want to come forward. So thank you all once again. Please take Prasad to your fullest satisfaction, and we do look forward to see you next week again. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So this afternoon we're having a program in King Grove. So if you feel like going for a walk down the countryside, King Grove, we have a program at 3 this afternoon up there, so you can join us. Hare Krishna.